Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your English podcast for daily life English, real conversations, and easy English listening practice.
Yeah, this is the place where you learn real English from real talk, not from boring grammar books. I'm Jake.
And I'm Anna. We're really happy you're here with us today.
So Anna, quick question before we start. How's your week going so far?
Honestly, pretty good. But I have to tell you something a little embarrassing.
Ooh, I like embarrassing stories. Go on.
Okay, so last week I told myself, this week I'm going to wake up at 6 every morning and go for a run.
And
I woke up at 6 one time. The other days my alarm went off and I just looked at it like it was a small, annoying bug, and I turned it off and went back to sleep.
That's not a bug, Anna. That's just Monday.
Exactly. And by Wednesday, I wasn't even angry at myself anymore. I just accepted that 6 a.m. Anna and I are not the same person.
Okay, but that's actually really relatable. I think almost every person listening right now has done the exact same thing. You make a big plan, a big goal. I'm going to change my whole life starting Monday. And then Monday comes and nothing changes.
Right. And that's actually the perfect way to start today's topic, because today we're not going to talk about big goals or big changes.
No, today we're talking about something smaller, something that doesn't need a 6 a.m. alarm, a new gym membership, or a complete new personality.
Today's topic is small habits, big changes. We're going to talk about how tiny little habits, the kind of habits that feel almost too small to matter, can actually change your whole life over time.
And yes, this connects to English learning too, don't worry. We'll show you how small habits can help you learn English faster without feeling tired or stressed.
So if you're someone who has tried the change everything at once method and it didn't work, this episode is for you.
And if you're someone who's already doing small habits and you just want a little more motivation, this episode is also for you.
Basically, this episode is for everyone.
Yeah, we're not picky.
Okay, before we jump into the topic, we want to ask you for a small favor.
Yes, one small job for your finger and a big help for this podcast.
If you're enjoying this episode, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who's learning English too.
Especially that friend who says, I want to improve my English, and then never actually does anything about it.
We all have that friend.
Sometimes we are that friend.
True. And also, if you have a small habit that changed something in your life, we'd love to hear about it. Write it in the comments. Just 1 or 2 simple sentences is already great practice for your English.
Yeah, think of it like this. Writing a comment is like sending your English brain to the gym for 30 seconds. Small effort, but it adds up.
Oh, nice connection to today's topic. I see what you did there.
I'm full of surprises today. Okay, let's really start now.
So Jake, let's start with a simple question. In your own words, what is a habit?
Okay, let me think. I think a habit is something you do so many times that your brain stops thinking about it. You just do it automatically.
That's a really good, simple definition. A habit is something automatic. You don't have to make a big decision every time. You just do it.
Right, like brushing your teeth. Nobody wakes up and thinks, should I brush my teeth today? Let me really consider this.
No, you just walk to the bathroom and do it without even really waking up.
Exactly. Half the time I'm still half asleep, but my hand already knows what to do.
That's the power of a habit. It doesn't need motivation. It doesn't need willpower. It just happens.
And I think that's the important part for today's topic. A lot of people think big changes need big motivation, big energy, a big, I'm gonna change my life moment.
Right, like at midnight on New Year's Eve.
Exactly. The classic New Year, New Me moment.
But here's the problem. Motivation doesn't last. You feel excited on January 1st, maybe January 2nd, and by January 10th,
You're back on the sofa, eating chips, watching videos about people who are more disciplined than you.
painfully accurate.
So the big idea for today is this. Instead of depending on motivation, which comes and goes, we can build small habits, which stay with us because they're automatic.
Yes, and small habits are powerful because they don't need much energy to start. You don't need to feel motivated to do a tiny habit.
Right. It's easy to feel motivated to run a marathon. It's much harder to feel motivated to just walk for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And that's actually the secret. Walking for 5 minutes is so small, so easy, that you can do it even on your worst day, even when you have zero motivation.
And that's the whole idea of small habits, big changes. Small doesn't mean unimportant. Small means possible. Small means you can actually do it, even when life is hard.
Okay, I want to share a little story, or actually more like a small math puzzle that really helped me understand why small habits matter so much.
Okay, I'm ready. I like puzzles, unless there's too much math. Then I get nervous.
Don't worry, it's simple math. Okay, imagine I give you 2 choices. Choice 1, I give you $1 million today, right now, one time.
Okay, I like choice 1 already.
Wait, listen to choice 2 first. Choice 2, I give you just 1 penny today, but every day for 30 days, the amount doubles. So day 1, 1 penny, day 2, 2 pennies, day 3, 4 pennies, and so on every day for 30 days.
Okay, $1 million sounds a lot bigger than 1 penny that just doubles a little bit each day.
That's what most people think at first, but let's do the math. After 30 days with the doubling penny, you don't just get a few dollars.
How much do you get?
You get over $5 million.
Wait, what? From 1 penny?
From 1 single penny. Because in the beginning, the growth looks so small, so boring, almost invisible. Day 5, you only have 16 cents. It doesn't look impressive at all.
Right. At that point, you'd probably think, this penny idea is useless. $1 million was clearly the better choice.
Exactly. But if you wait, if you stay consistent, the small growth becomes huge growth. That's exactly how small habits work in real life.
Oh, I really like that. So in the beginning, a small habit like reading 5 pages a day or drinking 1 more glass of water feels almost pointless. It doesn't look like it's changing anything.
Right. Day 1, day 5, even day 20, you might feel like nothing is happening.
But if you stay consistent for months, for a year, the small habit becomes something huge, just like the penny.
Exactly. Small habits are quiet in the beginning, but powerful in the end.
I love that. Quiet in the beginning, powerful in the end. That should be on a poster somewhere.
Maybe we should make one and sell it.
New business idea, motivational posters from a podcast about small habits. I like where this is going.
Okay, Jake, tell us about a small habit that actually changed something real in your life, and it doesn't have to be a big dramatic story.
Okay, so a few years ago, my back was hurting a lot. I sit at a computer for many hours a day, and my back and neck were always tense and painful.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, and at first I thought, okay, I need to fix this completely. I'll join a gym, do a full workout program, maybe even see a physical therapist every week.
Sounds like a big plan.
A very big plan. And you know what happened?
Let me guess, you did it for 1 week and then stopped?
Not even 1 full week. I went to the gym twice, felt extremely sore, and then found every excuse not to go back. I'm too tired, I have too much work, it's raining. Even when it wasn't actually raining, in my heart, it was raining.
Emotional rain.
Exactly. So after failing with the big plan, I tried something much, much smaller. I told myself, every hour, I will stand up and stretch for just 1 minute. That's it, 1 minute.
That's really small.
Extremely small. So small that it felt almost silly. But because it was so small, I actually did it. It didn't need motivation, it didn't need extra time. I just set a small reminder on my phone, and every hour, 1 minute of stretching.
And what happened after some time?
After about a month, my back pain became noticeably better. Not perfect, but much better. And here's the interesting part. Because that one small habit worked, I felt confident to add another small thing.
What did you add?
I started taking a short walk after lunch, just 10 minutes. Again, small, easy, no big preparation needed.
And did that habit stay too?
Yes, and slowly, month after month, these small things built on each other. Now I actually enjoy some light exercise a few times a week, something I never thought would happen, because in the past, exercise for me always meant a big, tiring, complicated plan.
So the small habit didn't just fix your back. It kind of opened the door to bigger changes later.
Exactly. That's actually a really important point. Small habits are like small doors. Once you walk through one small door, you often find it's easier to walk through the next one.
I love that. Small doors leading to bigger rooms.
See? I told you. Poster material. Okay, Anna, your turn now. Tell us about a small habit that changed something for you.
Okay, mine is a little different. Mine is about reading.
Oh, nice. Tell us.
For years, I told myself I want to read more books, But every time I tried, I would buy a big, thick book, feel excited for 2 days, and then the book would just sit on my shelf, looking at me sadly.
A sad judging book.
Exactly. It felt like the book was saying, "Remember me, you said you would read me," and I would feel a little guilty every time I saw it.
So what changed?
One day, a friend told me something simple. She said, "Anna, stop trying to read for 1 hour every day. Just read 1 page. 1 single page every day, no matter what." And I thought, 1 page? That's nothing. That won't help me finish books.
But you tried it anyway?
I tried it, mostly because it felt so easy that I had no excuse not to. Even on my busiest, most tired day, I could always find time and energy for 1 single page.
And what happened?
Here's the funny thing. Almost every time after I read 1 page, I actually wanted to keep reading. The hardest part wasn't reading. The hardest part was starting.
Oh, that's such a good point. Starting is often the biggest problem, not the actual activity.
Exactly. Once I opened the book and read that first small page, my brain would think, "Okay, I'm already here. Let me read a little more." And sometimes that little more became 20 pages.
But even on the days when it really was just 1 page?
Even on those days, it still counted. It still kept the habit alive. And because I never broke the habit completely, it became a real part of my life. Now, 1 year later, I've read more books than in the previous 5 years combined.
Wow, that's incredible. All from just deciding to read 1 page a day.
All from 1 tiny penny. It sounds too simple to be true, but it really works.
I think that's actually the secret that a lot of people miss. They believe change needs to feel big and hard to actually count. But often, the smaller and easier the habit, the more likely you are to actually keep doing it.
Right. Big and hard usually means you quit quickly. Small and easy usually means you stay consistent. And consistency is where the real magic happens.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about why this works in a simple, non-scientific, easy-to-understand way.
Yes, don't worry. We're not going to turn into a science podcast suddenly.
No promises about boring science words today. So, in simple terms, our brain doesn't like big, sudden changes. Big changes feel scary, tiring, and uncomfortable.
Right. When you say, "I'm going to completely change my diet, exercise every day, wake up at 5 a.m., and read 3 books a week, starting tomorrow," your brain kind of panics.
Yeah, it's like your brain is looking at you like, "Excuse me? What happened? Why is everything different suddenly?"
Yes, exactly that confused, slightly worried brain face.
But small habits don't create that panic. When you say, "I'll just drink 1 extra glass of water," your brain thinks, "Okay, that's fine, no problem, easy."
Right. There's no fear, no big effort, so there's no resistance either.
And here's an interesting thing. When you complete a small habit, your brain still gives you a little reward feeling, a small sense of, "I did something good."
Yes, and that little reward feeling makes you want to do it again the next day.
So over time, you build this little cycle. Small habit, small reward feeling, small motivation to repeat, small habit again.
And this cycle keeps going, quietly, in the background of your life, without needing constant big motivation.
Meanwhile, if you try a huge, difficult change, there's a lot of effort, but often not much reward feeling at first, because it's exhausting.
Right, and exhaustion doesn't make you want to repeat something. It makes you want to avoid it.
Exactly. So that's really the simple reason why small habits work better for most people most of the time. They match how our brain naturally likes to work. Small steps, small rewards, steady progress.
I think that's a really helpful way to think about it. It's not about being lazy or not caring. It's about working with your brain instead of fighting against it.
Yes, small habits aren't the easy way out. They're actually the smart way in.
Ooh, the smart way in. I like that one too.
I'm on fire with the quotes today.
Okay, now let's get practical. Let's talk about some real small habits people can start in different areas of life.
Yes, and remember, these are just examples. You don't need to do all of them. Actually, please don't try to do all of them at once.
Right. That would just become another big, overwhelming plan, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid today. Habit 1. Drink 1 glass of water in the morning.
Let's start with something really simple. Drinking 1 glass of water right after you wake up.
Yes, before coffee, before checking your phone, just 1 glass of water.
This small habit can help your body wake up, help your brain feel more alert, and it's a nice, calm way to start the day instead of immediately grabbing your phone.
And it's so easy. You don't need special equipment, you don't need extra time, you just need a glass and some water, which most of us already have at home.
Right, unless you live somewhere very unusual. Even then, I think most homes have water.
Habit 2. Read 1 page a day.
We already talked about this one, Anna's personal favorite.
Yes, reading 1 single page every day. It sounds too small to matter, but as I shared, it can slowly build into a real reading habit.
And this doesn't have to be a serious book either. It could be a novel, a self-help book, even an English learning book. 1 page a day. That's all.
And for our English learners listening, this could even be 1 page of an English story or 1 short English article. Small, steady English reading.
Habit 3. Take a 5-minute walk. This one's for my own story. Just a short walk, even 5 minutes, after a meal or during a break.
5 minutes is so small that literally almost anyone can find time for it, even on a busy day.
Exactly. And a short walk can help clear your mind, wake up your body a little, and give you a small break from screens.
I think a lot of people think exercise has to be a full gym session to count, but even 5 minutes of movement is much better than 0 minutes.
Right. Something is always better than nothing. That's actually a nice small motto for this whole topic.
Habit 4. Write 1 sentence in a journal. Here's another one. Writing just 1 sentence a day about how you feel or what happened that day.
Not a full diary entry, not a big emotional essay, just 1 honest sentence.
Something like, today was tiring, but I finished an important task. Or, today I felt happy because I talked to an old friend.
And over weeks and months, these small sentences become a small record of your life, your feelings, your growth.
And for English learners, this is also fantastic English writing practice. 1 simple sentence a day builds real writing confidence over time.
True, and it doesn't feel scary because it's just 1 sentence, not a whole essay.
Habit 5. Put your phone away 30 minutes before bed.
This one is a bit harder for a lot of people, including me, honestly. I think this is the hardest one on the list for almost everyone.
Yes, but even a small version helps. Maybe you can't stop using your phone completely, but you can try putting it in another room or in a drawer, just 30 minutes before you plan to sleep.
This small change can help your brain relax more before sleep, which usually means better, deeper rest.
And better rest usually means more energy the next day, which makes it easier to do your other small habits too.
Oh, interesting. So this one habit can actually support all the other habits.
Exactly. Small habits often connect to each other like this.
Habit 6. Learn 3 new English words a day. And of course, since this is an English learning podcast, we have to include this one, learning just 3 new English words a day.
Not 30 words, not a whole vocabulary list, just 3 simple words.
3 words a day doesn't sound like much, but let's do a little math like Anna did earlier with the penny story.
Oh, I like where this is going.
3 words a day for 1 year, that's over 1,000 new English words.
Wow, over 1,000 words just from 3 small words a day?
Exactly. So even something as small as 3 words can create a really big vocabulary over time.
That's such a great example of small habits, big changes, right inside our own topic today.
Habit 7. Write down 1 thing you're grateful for. Here's another lovely one. Before bed or in the morning, write down just 1 thing you're grateful for that day.
It doesn't have to be big. It could be, I'm grateful my coffee was hot, or I'm grateful my friend called me today.
Small, honest, simple gratitude. Nothing fancy required.
And over time, this small habit can actually change the way you notice your day. You start looking for small good things instead of only noticing the stressful ones.
Right. It's like training your brain's attention, little by little, to see more of the good that's already there.
Habit 8. Tidy 1 small space every day. This one is for people, like me, who sometimes feel their home is a little messy, but cleaning the whole house feels overwhelming.
Oh, I know this feeling very well.
So instead of cleaning the whole house, just tidy 1 small space. 1 shelf, 1 drawer, 1 corner of your desk.
And because it's so small, it only takes a few minutes, so there's no excuse to skip it, even on a busy day.
And after a few weeks, without ever having one big cleaning day, your whole home slowly becomes more organized.
Small tidying, big transformation. Fits perfectly with today's theme. Habit 9. Prepare 1 small thing the night before. And a final example, preparing just 1 small thing the night before for the next day.
This could be laying out your clothes, packing your bag, or writing down your top 1 task for tomorrow.
This tiny habit can make your morning feel calmer and less rushed because part of tomorrow is already done.
And a calmer morning often means more energy and patience for the rest of your small habits too.
See, again, these small habits quietly support each other, like a little team working together. Okay, so now people might be thinking, this all sounds nice, but how do I actually start? How do I make sure I don't forget or give up after 3 days?
Great question. Let's share a few simple, practical tips.
Tip 1. Make it almost too easy.
The first tip is make your habit so easy that you almost feel silly saying no to it.
Right. Instead of saying, I'll read for 30 minutes a day, say, I'll read 1 page a day. Instead of, I'll exercise for 1 hour, say, I'll do 5 push-ups.
The goal in the beginning is not to do a lot. The goal is to build the identity, the habit of doing something small every single day without breaking it.
Yes, you can always make it bigger later once the small habit is already comfortable and automatic. Tip 2. Connect it to something you already do. The second tip is something called habit stacking. This just means connecting your new small habit to something you already do every day.
For example, after I brush my teeth, I will drink 1 glass of water. Or after I make my morning coffee, I will read 1 page of my book.
Because brushing your teeth or making coffee is already automatic, it's a strong, reliable reminder for the new small habit.
Right. You're basically attaching a small new habit to an old strong habit, like attaching a small train car to a train that's already moving.
Nice image. The train doesn't need extra energy to pull 1 more small car.
Tip 3. Don't break the chain twice. The third tip is really important. It's okay to miss a day sometimes. Life happens. You get sick, you're extremely busy, something unexpected comes up.
Right. Missing 1 day doesn't ruin your habit. That's completely normal, and you shouldn't feel too guilty about it.
But try not to miss 2 days in a row. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice can quickly become a new habit of not doing the habit.
A habit of not having a habit.
Exactly. So if you miss 1 day, be kind to yourself, and just make sure you do it again the next day.
Tip 4. Focus on showing up, not on being perfect. The fourth tip is to focus on just showing up, even in a small way, instead of trying to be perfect every single day.
So on a tired day, maybe you only do 1 push-up instead of 5. That's okay. 1 push-up still keeps the habit alive.
Right. The goal isn't a perfect performance every day. The goal is to never completely stop.
A tired 1 push-up is much more powerful than 5 perfect push-ups you only do sometimes.
That's such an important point because I think a lot of people quit habits completely just because they couldn't do it properly 1 day.
Right. And then they think, well, I already broke it, so what's the point of continuing? But that thinking can quietly destroy months of good progress.
Tip 5. Track your small wins. And a final small tip. It can help to track your habits somehow, even in a very simple way.
Yes, this could be a small notebook, a calendar where you put an X on each day you complete the habit, or even a simple note on your phone.
Seeing those small marks add up over days and weeks can be really motivating. It's like watching your own small penny story happen in real life.
True. Watching that chain of X marks grow longer gives you a nice, quiet feeling of pride.
And that quiet pride is often enough motivation to continue, even without big external rewards.
Okay, let's talk about some common mistakes so our listeners can avoid them.
Yes, I feel like I've personally made every single one of these mistakes at some point.
Same here, honestly. Let's be honest examples for our listeners.
Mistake 1. Starting too big. The first mistake is starting too big, too fast. This is probably the most common mistake.
Right, like my 6 a.m. running story from the beginning of this episode.
Exactly. When a habit is too big, it needs too much motivation and energy. And as we said earlier, motivation doesn't last very long.
So the fix is simple. Start smaller than feels necessary. If you think, I should read 10 pages a day, maybe actually start with just 2 or 3, especially in the first few weeks.
Mistake 2. Trying to build too many habits at once.
Oh yes, this is a big one. Starting Monday, I will wake up early, exercise, read, eat healthy, and study English for 2 hours.
That's not a small habit plan. That's basically a completely new life, starting suddenly on a Monday morning.
Right. And trying to build too many habits at once usually means your energy and focus get spread too thin, and most or all of the habits fail together.
A much better approach is choosing just 1 or maybe 2 small habits at a time. Once they feel truly automatic, then you can add another one.
Mistake 3. Depending only on motivation, instead of building actual systems and reminders.
Right. Motivation is like weather. Some days it's sunny and strong, other days it's cloudy and weak, and some days it's just completely gone.
So if your habit only happens on days when you feel motivated, it won't survive very long.
That's why habit stacking, small reminders, and making the habit really easy are so important. They help you continue even on low motivation days.
Mistake 4. Being too hard on yourself after a mistake.
And the final common mistake is being extremely hard on yourself after missing a day or making a small mistake. Yes, this connects to what we said earlier.
Missing a day is normal. It happens to literally everyone.
But some people use one missed day as proof that they're just not disciplined enough, or that the whole plan is pointless.
And that negative thinking often causes people to quit completely, when really they just needed to continue the next day.
Right. Imagine if a baby learning to walk gave up completely after falling down one time.
Well, I fell once. Walking clearly isn't for me.
Exactly. That sounds silly for a baby, but adults often think exactly this way about their own habits. So the fix here is simple, but powerful. Treat small mistakes like normal, expected parts of the process, not as reasons to completely stop. Now, since this is an English podcast, let's connect everything we talked about directly to English learning. Yes, because we know a lot of you listening have probably tried the big plan method with English too. I'm going to study English for 2 hours every day, memorize 50 words a week, and watch only English movies from now on.
That's exhausting just saying it out loud.
Right, and usually plans like this last maybe a few days before real life gets in the way.
So instead, let's think about small English habits that are easy enough to actually continue. English habit 1. Listen to 5 minutes of English daily.
This could literally be 5 minutes of a podcast like ours, 5 minutes of an English video, or 5 minutes of English music with lyrics.
5 minutes feels almost too small to matter, but daily listening, even in small amounts, trains your ear to understand English sounds and rhythm. English habit 2. Say one sentence out loud every day.
This could be describing your day, describing your room, or even just saying, "Today I feel a little tired, but okay."
Speaking daily, even just one sentence, helps your mouth and brain get comfortable actually producing English, not just understanding it.
English habit 3. Write one English sentence in the comments.
Actually, this connects back to what we asked earlier in this episode. Writing one small comment under this video is already a small English habit.
Right, and if you do that consistently under different videos, you're actually building real steady writing practice.
English habit 4. Learn 3 words a day.
We already mentioned this one earlier too. 3 words a day, over 1,000 words a year.
And these don't need to be complicated academic words. Simple, useful daily words are often much more valuable.
The idea here is the same as everything else in this episode. Small, easy, daily actions repeated consistently create surprisingly big results over time.
So if you felt frustrated with your English progress, maybe the answer isn't studying harder for one big session. Maybe the answer is studying smaller but more consistently.
Yes, small and steady often beats big and occasional.
Before we move to listener messages, let's clear up a couple of common myths about habits, things people believe that aren't actually true.
Yes, I think this will really help people feel less confused or less guilty about their own habit journey. Myth 1. It takes exactly 21 days to build a habit.
Okay, this is probably the most famous habit myth out there. A lot of people believe it takes exactly 21 days to build a new habit.
I've heard this so many times. It sounds so specific and confident, 21 days, like it's a scientific fact carved in stone.
But actually, real research shows habits can take anywhere from about 2 weeks to several months to feel truly automatic, depending on the habit and the person.
Right. Drinking a glass of water in the morning might feel automatic quite quickly, but something like waking up early might genuinely take much longer for some people.
So if you're on day 25 and your habit still feels a little effortful, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means you're a normal human being, not a fixed number on a calendar.
That's such an important thing to hear, honestly. So many people quit around day 15 or 20 because they expected the habit to already feel easy by then.
Right. And instead of thinking, this is taking longer than 21 days, so it's not working, it's much healthier to think, this is taking the time it naturally takes for me, and that's completely fine.
Myth 2. If I don't feel motivated, I shouldn't do it. Here's another myth. A lot of people believe that if they don't feel motivated on a certain day, it's better to just skip the habit and wait for motivation to come back.
But as we said earlier, motivation is unreliable. If you only act when you feel motivated, you might only actually do your habit a few times a month.
Right, and interestingly, motivation often comes after you start, not before. You don't feel like walking, but you put on your shoes anyway, and by the second minute of walking, you actually feel okay, sometimes even good.
So the myth should really be flipped around. Action often creates motivation, more than motivation creates action.
Myth 3. Small habits are not serious or real progress. And the final myth. Some people feel like small habits are somehow not real or not serious enough to actually count as progress.
Right. Like there's a hidden voice saying, 1 page of reading? That's nothing. Real readers read whole chapters.
But as we showed with the penny story and with our own personal examples, small, consistent actions are often exactly what create the biggest results over time.
So small habits aren't a lesser version of change. They're often the most realistic, most sustainable version of real change.
I think once people let go of these 3 myths, building habits becomes a lot less stressful and a lot more enjoyable too.
Here's something we don't often think about. Small habits don't just apply to health, reading, or English learning. They can also quietly change our relationships.
Oh, that's true. Give us an example.
Sure. Imagine a small habit of sending one kind message to a family member each week. Just a simple, thinking of you, hope you're doing well.
That's such a small action, but over a year, that's over 50 small moments of connection instead of 0.
Exactly. Or a small habit of asking your partner or your close friend one real question every day. Something deeper than, how was your day?
Like, what made you smile today? Or what's something that's been on your mind lately?
Right. Small questions like that, repeated regularly, can slowly build a much deeper connection than we might expect from something so simple.
It's honestly the same pattern again and again in this episode. Small, easy, repeated actions quietly becoming something much bigger over time.
Whether it's your body, your English, your home, or your relationships, the small habit approach keeps showing up as surprisingly powerful. Okay, before we finish, let's read a couple of comments from previous episodes.
Yes, we love reading your comments, and honestly, some of them really touch our hearts.
One listener wrote, I started listening to 5 minutes of this podcast every morning while making tea, and after 2 months, I understand much more than before.
That's such a beautiful, simple example of exactly what we talked about today. 5 minutes every morning, consistently over 2 months.
Another listener wrote, I used to feel bad because I couldn't study for hours like other people. Now I just study for 10 minutes a day, and I feel much less stressed and honestly more consistent.
I love this comment so much because it shows that small habits aren't just about results. They're also about feeling calmer, less stressed, and kinder to yourself.
Exactly. Small habits remove the pressure of doing it perfectly and replace it with the comfort of doing it consistently.
So if you're listening right now and you've been feeling stressed about big goals, English or otherwise, we hope today's episode gives you a little relief.
You don't need a perfect plan. You just need one small, easy action you can repeat.
Okay, we also got a few real questions from listeners about building habits, so let's answer a few of them together.
Yes, let's do a mini question and answer session. Question 1. What if I try a small habit and I still forget it?
This is a really common question. One listener asked, I decided to drink a glass of water every morning, but honestly, I still forget most days. What should I do?
Great question. First, don't feel bad. Forgetting a new habit in the beginning is completely normal, especially before it becomes automatic.
The best fix here is usually a stronger reminder or a stronger connection to something you already do without fail.
Right. Instead of just deciding I'll drink water in the morning, try physically placing a glass right next to your bed or right next to your coffee machine, somewhere you absolutely cannot miss it.
Yes, and you can also connect it directly to another automatic habit like we mentioned earlier. After I turn off my alarm, I drink my glass of water. Now your alarm becomes the reminder.
Small environment changes, like moving objects to obvious places, are often more powerful than simply trying to remember better. Question 2. How small is too small? Doesn't a tiny habit feel pointless?
Another listener asked something like, 1 page of reading, 1 minute of stretching. Doesn't that feel a little pointless? How can something that small actually matter?
I understand this feeling completely, because in the moment, a tiny habit really does feel small and unimpressive.
But remember our penny story from earlier. On day 5, 16 cents also felt pointless. The real value only becomes clear much later after consistent repetition.
So the honest answer is yes, in the short term, tiny habits can feel a little unsatisfying, but that short-term feeling is actually a small price for long-term reliable growth.
And here's a helpful trick. If a tiny habit ever feels too easy, that's actually a good sign, not a bad one. It means you're likely to actually keep doing it.
You can always increase the size of the habit later, once it feels automatic and effortless, but it's much harder to go the other way, starting big and then shrinking down after failing repeatedly. Question 3. Can I combine small habits with bigger goals?
A listener also asked, I do have some bigger goals, like running a half marathon. Can small habits still work for something that big?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, big goals are usually best reached exactly through small, consistent habits, not through sudden, intense effort.
So instead of just jumping straight into difficult, long training runs, someone with a half marathon goal might start with a very small daily habit, like a 10-minute walk or jog.
Slowly, over weeks and months, that small, consistent habit naturally grows into longer, stronger runs, because the body and the routine have had time to adjust.
Right. Big goals give you direction, a place you want to go. But small habits are the actual vehicle that gets you there, one small, steady step at a time.
I really like that image. The goal is the destination, but the habit is the daily transportation. Question 4.
What if I already broke my habit for a whole week or more?
And here's a question a lot of listeners probably relate to. What if I already stopped my habit completely, maybe for a whole week or even longer? Is it too late to restart?
It is never too late to restart a small habit. Genuinely never.
Right. A break in your habit doesn't erase the benefits you already gained while you were doing it, and it definitely doesn't mean you have to start from some kind of zero with extra shame attached.
The simplest, kindest thing to do is just quietly restart. Today, right now, with the smallest possible version of the habit.
You don't need a dramatic comeback speech or a new notebook or a fresh Monday. You can literally restart in the middle of a Wednesday afternoon.
Right. The habit doesn't know or care what day it is. It only cares whether you do the small action or not today.
That's such a freeing way to think about it, honestly. No perfect starting point required, ever.
Actually, before we move on, I want to share one more story in a bit more detail, because I think it really shows everything we've been talking about today.
Oh, go ahead. I love a good detailed story.
So, a while back, a listener wrote to us and said she had struggled with English for almost 10 years. 10 years of starting courses, buying books, downloading apps, and stopping again and again.
10 years is a long time to feel stuck.
Right. And she said every time she started, she felt this huge pressure to finally become fluent. And that pressure made English feel heavy, stressful, almost like a punishment instead of something enjoyable.
That's honestly really sad, because learning a language should feel exciting, not like a heavy weight.
Exactly. So one day she decided to try something completely different. Instead of another big course, another big promise to herself, she chose one tiny habit, listening to just 3 minutes of English audio while making her morning tea.
Just 3 minutes. That's even smaller than our 5-minute example earlier.
Right. And she told us that at first she felt almost silly, like 3 minutes couldn't possibly help someone who had struggled for 10 years.
I can understand that feeling. It probably felt like using a small spoon to empty a swimming pool.
That's a great way to put it. But she kept going. 3 minutes every single morning, no matter how tired or busy she felt, because 3 minutes truly required almost no effort.
And slowly, what happened?
After about a month, she noticed she actually looked forward to that small tea time listening habit. It became a calm, comfortable part of her morning, not a stressful task.
That's such an important shift. The habit stopped feeling like work and started feeling like a natural part of her day.
Exactly. And here's the beautiful part. After a few months, she naturally started extending it, sometimes to 5 minutes, sometimes even 10, without forcing herself, simply because she now genuinely enjoyed the habit.
So the small habit grew on its own, organically, instead of through pressure or willpower.
Right. And about a year later, she wrote to us again and said she finally felt confident having a real conversation in English, something she hadn't felt in 10 full years of trying bigger, harder methods.
Wow, 10 years of struggle, and then real progress from something as small as 3 minutes with her morning tea.
It really shows that the size of the habit doesn't need to match the size of the goal. Even a huge, long-standing goal can be reached through the smallest, gentlest daily action.
I think that story alone is worth remembering, even if you forget everything else from today's episode.
Small starting point, real consistency, and enough patience to let it slowly grow. That's really the whole formula.
Okay, before we finish completely, let's give you a few simple practice sentences using today's vocabulary.
Yes, try repeating these sentences out loud, even quietly, right where you are.
Small habits can create big changes over time.
I want to build a new habit, so I'm starting small.
I missed my habit yesterday, but today I'm continuing anyway.
Reading 1 page a day is easier than reading one whole book at once.
Motivation doesn't last, but small habits can last for years.
I connected my new habit to something I already do every day.
Nice, simple, useful sentences you can actually use in daily conversation or writing.
And remember, you don't need to memorize all of them today. Maybe just pick one sentence and try to use it or say it out loud sometime today.
Small English habit, right there.
Before the recap, let's slow down for a minute and highlight a few useful words and phrases from today's episode.
Yes, this is a great chance to review some natural English expressions you can use in your own daily conversations.
Phrase, to add up. We used this phrase a few times today. To add up means small things combine together to become something bigger.
For example, those small habits really add up over time. Or 1 page a day doesn't seem like much, but it adds up.
You can also use it about money. These small purchases really add up by the end of the month.
Phrase, to break the chain. We talked about not breaking the chain twice. This means stopping a streak of consistent days.
For example, I don't want to break the chain, so I'll do my habit even for just 2 minutes today.
It's a nice visual phrase, imagining your consistent days connected together like links in a chain.
Phrase, to show up. We also talked about showing up, even in a small way. This phrase means simply being present and making an effort, even if it's not perfect.
For example, I didn't feel like exercising today, but I showed up anyway and did a little bit.
It's often used for effort and consistency, more than for perfect results.
Phrase, habit stacking. This one is a little more specific to today's topic. Habit stacking means attaching a new habit to an existing one.
For example, I used habit stacking to remember to stretch by connecting it to my coffee break.
Phrase, to feel overwhelmed. We used this word a few times too. Feeling overwhelmed means feeling like there's too much to handle, too much pressure at once.
For example, cleaning the whole house felt overwhelming, so I just cleaned one small shelf instead.
This is such a useful, common word for describing stress in daily English conversation.
Phrase, consistent and consistency. And finally, one of the most important words from today's whole episode, consistent and the noun form, consistency.
Being consistent means doing something regularly, again and again, over time, instead of only occasionally.
For example, I'm not perfect, but I try to be consistent with my small habits. Or, consistency matters more than perfection.
If you remember only one word from today's episode, honestly, let it be this one, consistency.
Try using a couple of these words today, in a sentence, a comment, or even just in your own thoughts. That's a small habit too, by the way.
Everything really does connect back to today's topic, doesn't it?
Okay, Anna, let's do a quick recap for everyone before we say goodbye.
Sure. First, we talked about what a habit really is. Something automatic, something your brain does without needing much thought or motivation.
Then we talked about the penny story, showing how small things repeated consistently can grow into something huge over time.
We shared our own personal small habit stories, Jake's 1-minute stretching habit and my 1-page reading habit.
We talked about why our brains actually prefer small habits over big, sudden changes.
We gave several examples of small daily habits, like drinking water in the morning, short walks, journaling, and reducing phone use before bed.
We shared practical tips. Make it easy, connect it to an existing habit, don't break the chain twice, focus on showing up, and track your small wins.
We talked about common mistakes, starting too big, doing too many habits at once, depending only on motivation, and being too hard on yourself.
And finally, we connected everything to English learning, with small habits like 5 minutes of listening, 1 sentence of speaking, and 3 new words a day.
That's a lot we covered today, but hopefully it felt simple and easy to follow, just like our topic.
Small steps through a big topic. Very fitting, actually.
Okay, everyone, that's it for today's episode of the English Leap Podcast.
We really hope this episode gave you a little motivation, but also a little peace, knowing that you don't need to change everything at once.
Just pick one small habit, something so easy you can't really say no to it, and try it, starting today or even starting tomorrow morning.
And remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a little encouragement today.
And tell us in the comments, what's one small habit you want to start this week? We genuinely love to read your answers.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us today.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself. And remember,
Small habits, big changes.
bye everyone.
Bye.